Hi, it's Josh Goldberg here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. It's a very cold and windy day here today in Jerusalem. A perfect day to make a video called Taking Out Some Trash. Okay, so today I wanted to share just a few pieces of guidance that I was given by professionals when I was reaching out to try and get help with a past relationship that I was in that was severely emotionally abusive. And just a few disclaimers before I start this video, because it is going to be a little bit strong and a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a vent. The purpose of this video is to not put down or to degrade anyone that gave me this guidance. Okay, all of this guidance was given to me with good intentions, and the people that I received this guidance from, they were trying to help, even though the guidance was severely flawed and unhelpful. So I just wanted to say that these things that I'm going to share with you, the purpose of it is to share with you so that you can, I guess, identify with yourself also guidance and help that you have gotten in the past or that you're getting right now that is not the right guidance for your relationship if there's emotional abuse or any type of other covert or toxic behavior that's going on. And it's not often that I vent and share these types of things that might be seen as negative, but I'm sharing them to try and make them into a learning experience. Because overall, even though these three pieces of guidance that I did receive from professionals wasn't helpful and it was frustrating and it was disappointing, I did still learn from it. And if we can transform things in our life that were not helpful and were frustrating into things that benefit us, and we can even share them with other people so that other people don't have to go through the same frustration and heartache, then it certainly is a positive thing. So that's my disclaimer. I'm not in any way talking against the people that gave me this guidance that I think is severely flawed and unhelpful, and I would say rubbish even. But I'm basically just sharing the content. Okay, so again, this was guidance that I was given by professionals. I'm not talking about friends and family. I'm talking about marriage counselors, therapists, people that I really depended on for help with my relationship at the time that was severely emotionally abusive and with a lot of toxic and covert behaviors going on, with a BPD person that also had significant narcissistic traits. So today I'm just going to share with you three pieces of guidance that I was given that it was quite incorrect. Okay, so the first one is I was told that men don't men don't express their feelings to their partner in a relationship. Okay, so meaning that it is incorrect for a man to express their emotions, their strong emotions to their partner. Okay, this is total rubbish. Okay, men don't operate on their feelings as much as women do. Yes, I totally understand that. And I do think that men should be a little bit more intellectual and operate from their intellect and to try a lot harder to regulate their emotions by themselves and to be more factual and intellectual. This is very important for a man to be this way. But when a man does have very strong emotions and he wants to express them to his partner, and he can't kind of let go of them and he wants to share them, whether it includes her or not in the situation. If a man can't express his emotions to his wife, okay, or to his female partner, okay, the woman is meant to be the emotional pillar of the home. Okay, the woman is meant to be the place of support and understanding and empathy and listening and comfort. Okay, because men are tough, yes, and men, we like to think that we're that we're invincible, but sometimes men do have emotions, okay? Sometimes men do have emotions. And if a man can't share these emotions with his partner, like, where is he meant to express these to, okay? Like, so this guidance that I got was actually quite shocking to me, because I thought to myself, like, this is rubbish. Like, a man should be able to express emotions from time to time, especially when they're significant feelings and they're very strong. Okay, a man wants to express his feelings sometimes to his partner. Okay, women are meant to be emotionally available and supportive and be able to listen to the man's feelings sometimes. So this advice that I got, that men shouldn't express their feelings to their partner, is total rubbish. Okay, so in a healthy relationship, whether it's the man or the woman sharing with each other, if you can't express your feelings in your intimate relationship, then there's something seriously wrong with your relationship. Okay? Intimate relationships is a place where emotions are meant to be shared and are meant to be understood and validated by the other person. Okay? And yes, women do have more emotions and are more emotional than men, but sometimes men do have emotions, and sometimes men need to express these to their partner, and a woman should listen to these and be understanding towards these. And I don't know where this counselor or professional got this kind of information from, but it's seriously incorrect. Okay, so men and women, you can express your feelings to your partner, and if you can't for some reason, or you don't get the understanding and the validation, there's definitely some unresolved issues in your relationship. Because in a healthy relationship, a man or a woman should be able to safely express their feelings to the other person and to feel understood and validated. Okay, so that's number one. The second piece of guidance that I got in the past, which was seriously wrong and I would say rubbish, was that my former spouse, my previous partner, when the counselor asked the two of us together what we would grade the quality of the relationship out of 10. Okay, so she said a 10 out of 10, and I said a 4 out of 10. And straight away, the counselor jumped at me and said, "Oh, it shows that you don't want to work on the relationship because you're giving the relationship a 4 out of 10, and she's giving the relationship a 10 out of 10, which means that she's trying to work on things and being positive, and you're being negative, and you're giving it a 4 out of 10. So you're the problem, basically." Okay, so this was total rubbish. Okay, absolute nonsense. Okay, maybe the person that's complaining about the relationship is complaining about the relationship for a reason. Okay, and this is something that I see today that is very toxic and unhealthy, and it seems to be like a spotlight on people that are the ones that are complaining. People automatically jump to the conclusion that they're the problem. And the reason why I think people do this, okay, professionals or family and friends, where they basically take the person that's complaining about a person in a relationship or complaining about behaviors. The reason why I think people jump to the conclusion that they're the problem is because people are not emotionally available or emotionally able to deal with people's emotions and people's problems and challenges, and therefore they just jump to conclusions. And this was total rubbish. 2 weeks later, I ended up divorcing this woman, and this guidance was severely flawed and obviously not very helpful. So that's the big misconception that exists today, and it's that the person complaining about a relationship seems to be the one that is scapegoated as the problem, and it's total rubbish. If someone's complaining about a relationship and the other person's giving it a 10 out of 10, okay, it actually puts a very big red flag on the other person. Because why is a person giving a relationship 10 out of 10 if the other person's giving the relationship a 4 out of 10? Like, how can you say that you're happy when the other person is saying that they're totally unhappy? That in itself shows that the other person is totally for themselves in the relationship, and they have no understanding of even where the other person is. Because I don't know about you, but if my partner was giving the relationship with me a 4 out of 10, I wouldn't be able to give the relationship a 10 out of 10. I'd be giving it also a 4, Because how can you be giving a relationship a 10 out of 10 and be happy when your partner is giving a relationship a 4 out of 10? So this is the big misconception today, that the person complaining about a relationship and the person saying things that are perceived to be negative about the other person or about behaviors or about the relationship is the problem. It's total nonsense. It's total rubbish. If someone's complaining about a relationship or complaining about someone, they really should be listened to from a neutral perspective and given the understanding and not be labeled as the problem. Okay, so that's number two. Horrible guidance and coming from a place of emotional neglect, basically, was what that was. So, and number three, and the last one, my last vent and my last rant for today is, I was told by a professional that I have to be the one to build up my partner's self-esteem. Okay, so she's got a negative self-image and low self-esteem, and it's up to me to build her up, okay, to build up this person to have high self-esteem. Okay, this is total nonsense. Okay, the reason why it's called self-esteem is because it's the esteem that a person has with themselves, and no one can build up someone else's self-esteem. A person can be supportive and they can certainly hurt someone else's uh, esteem and confidence, but a person can never build up someone else's self-esteem. And it doesn't matter how hard you try. Okay, if someone has a negative self-identity where they hate themselves and they think that they're a bad object and they have low self-esteem, you can compliment them and say positive things to them and try and build them up for your entire life, and it's never going to change them. Okay, self-esteem is called self-esteem because it comes from within. It's towards the self. And this advice that I got, that it was almost like up to me to build up my partner's esteem, self-esteem, it was total rubbish. Okay, like there's nothing that you can do. Okay, whether you have a male spouse or a female spouse, if your partner has a negative self-image and low self-esteem, it's up to them to actually heal their own relationship with themselves. And you can certainly support them with that, and that's what you should do, is you can support them with it, but you're not the one that builds up their self-esteem for them. Okay, you can't just do someone's healing for them. So this was guidance that I got where the professional was more or less saying to me, oh, it's up to me to build up their self-esteem. And at the time, I took that seriously and I tried, okay, compliments, positive statements. And if you're dealing with someone that has BPD or they have serious CPTSD, your positive statements and your compliments and your attempts to build up their self-esteem actually trigger their trauma, okay? Because they see themselves as a bad object. They see themselves as shameful and a negative self-image. And you saying positive statements towards them actually causes them to have projective identification, where they need to turn you back into a bad person in order to validate their negative self-image. So it actually makes a situation worse to compliment, to try and build up someone, to try and build up someone's self-esteem that has a negative self-image and that has a negative self-esteem. It actually makes it worse. Okay, so this guidance that I got was totally uh, unhelpful, and it caused a lot of problems, and it certainly is not correct. Okay, so remember that if your partner has low self-esteem and a negative self-image, it's not your job to build up their self-esteem. Okay, it's called self-esteem because it's their self-esteem and they have to work on it, and your job is to support them in their own self-healing and their own self-image. So these are three pieces of guidance that I received from mental health professionals that was totally unhelpful and very ill-advised. And I would like to encourage you, if you have received any form of guidance or any type of advice with your relationship that was totally unhelpful and totally misguided, please put a comment below. Okay, I'm trying to raise awareness for the types of help and guidance that is out there for abusive relationships that is not helpful, so that people can not take it seriously and to try and find help elsewhere. So please, if you've had any experiences or got any guidance like this that was totally ill-advised and unhelpful, please feel free to share in the comments, like the video, share this video to try and raise awareness for people that are stuck in abusive relationships and are not sure how to handle it. Please subscribe to the channel for more content, and thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.